Welcome to a new lesson of Adobe Lightroom. In this lesson, I'm going to show you how you will be able to use white balance and tone control in Adobe Lightroom. Well, these are like a very important function or very important tool if you are doing photography and editing. Okay, so without any further ado, let's just show you how you'll be able to use those tools and give you small briefs and example, okay, before getting into the lesson. So first off, let's show you or give you a brief of what white balance actually is. So in photography and image processing, color balance or white balance is the global adjustment of the intersets like interface or intensities of the color. An important goal of the adjustment is to render specific colors, particularly neutral colors like white or gray, correctly. Okay, so what is meant by white balance? White balance is still and video photography technique that attempts to render, neutral tones correctly. That is gray, achromatic without color, where white must be like super accurate. So the function that controls these color issues is the digital camera's white balance. Essentially, white balance adjusts images to make white substance look white in the final product. By making good use of the white balance, you'll be able to manipulate the tone of your picture at will. So what is the normal white balance? So a normal white balance, or the nanometer of it is, or like the range of it is, like white LEDs are supposed to be 4500, midday should be 5000 to 5500, flash is supposed to be 5500, and overcast or cloudy is supposed to be 6500 to 7500, and only then you will get a normal white balance. And you have to keep another thing in mind, that ISO and white balance are a bit correlated. So high ISO settings are useful for capturing fast action in poorly or unevenly lit situation. Taken with ISO 800 sensitivity 1 by 800 second at aperture 6.3, white balance, the white balance setting is used to make the colors in a digital photograph look natural under a variety of lighting condition from the histogram which you can see. Okay, so without any further ado, let's just show you what white balance actually is. So as you can see that I have a photo over here, so I'm going to select on it and make it a bit bigger. Okay, so there are two ways how you will be able to use the white balance. First off, it's going to be the quick development tab which I have over here. So the quick development tab, just click on it and you can already see that I have made my preset to be custom, but you can like select on auto to whichever one you want, which is like a default setting. Okay, now you can see that this is the default, but I most of the time use custom, because you can make your own custom style on your own, but you can also use whichever one you want. That's going to be up to you, but I'm just gonna do is like not use those. I'm gonna make it to be a bit more different and make it to be, let's say, custom. First off, it's going to be as shot. So as shot, it's going to be how the photo was shot on default, but I'm going to click on it and press on custom. And also in the tone control, I'm going to be not auto, but make it to be a bit different, because I'm gonna do it on my own. So first off, when I click on custom, you will be able to open another new tab which is over here, which is going to be temperature and tint. So the temperature is going to be according to which type of temperature the photo is going to look like. If you decrease the temperature, it's going to look bluish, because colder temperature looks blue and warmer temperature looks yellowish. Okay, yellowish, reddish, whichever type it is. So first off, let's just go with the temperature. As you can see that there are tools over here which is going to be make cooler, also make cooler, make warmer, and make warmer. So the double which you see over here is going to do is make the temperature or increase or decrease the temperature like twice, then like making or like changing it by bits. Okay, so let me just give you an example. If you do this, you can see that it is getting bluer. Okay, but if you click on it, you will see that it will directly get bluer, drastically. But because I prefer changing the temperature bits by bits, so you can get an perfect frame or perfect type of temperature, whichever one you want. Okay, so I'm going to use bits by bits, and you can see when I increase or decrease it. Now if I increase it, you can see that it is getting yellowish, so that means it is a warmer weather. Okay, but I'm going to keep it like this. It's not that warm, not that cool too. Okay, so I'm going to keep it like this. Then we have is the tint. Okay, when I increase or decrease the tint, you will get that, or you will see that when you decrease it, it will get, greenish, and when you increase it, it will get, reddish or pink, So I'm gonna show you bits by bits, and you can see that it is getting greenish, right? So I'm gonna make it double, and you can see that it has gone like super green, and if I increase it, you will see that it will turn pinkish. You can see over here, now it is a lot pink. See, so this is how actually tint works. Okay, so temperature is tint, and tint is like both different things, so you can like change them according to however you like. You will get a preview, so keep those in mind, and if after you're done, you can save it as like just as your desire. Okay, so then we have is the tone control. So what is the tone control? The tone control or tone curve. Well, not the tone curve, but I'm gonna show you or like help you with the tone, just the tone today. Okay, so the tone are simply referred to as curves or tone control by most photographer is a powerful tool in Lightroom that can affect an image's overall brightness and contrast. By adjusting the tone curve, you can make your photos brighter or darker and affect the contrast levels. Okay, so why do people use the tones in Lightroom? So I'm just gonna show you or give you 3 or 4 uses of it. So that's like you have to find the tone panel, okay? Then adjust the tone curve using the sliders, then adjust the tone by plotting points, then target specific tone with target tone selector, then apply the color adjustment with the tone. Okay, if you didn't get any of it, I'm just going to show you an example of how you will be able to do it. So by clicking the icon on the top left, you will be able to enable a feature that allows you to adjust the values of specific tonal region, which you can see the tonal region is going to be over here, which you see. Okay, so I'm just going to skip it because that's like a bit complex if you do it, but I'm just going to show you the basics of how you will be able to use those tools in Adobe Lightroom. Okay, so first off, there are 2 ways how you will be able to use those tools. First is going to be in the quick development tab, which you can see over here that in the like tone control I have like right below the white balance I have the tone control. But if you go to development or develop tab, you will see also the tone like section is also over here. But why do you see that in this tone there are a lot of these, but in this quick develop there are less? But when you click on this, you will see all of them will appear up, but in there are more over here, and in the develop there is less over here. Okay, so first off, what you're gonna do is, first off, let's just start off with the tone control from here, which is the quick develop tab. Okay, first off, you can see that the first tools are going to be exposure and contrast, which is like one of the most important thing for photographers and for editing. So you can like manage the exposures also bits by bits, and also like drastically if you want. Okay, you can see the difference is being made, and also the histogram is changing one by one when you change it. You can see even if you do it bits by bits, it's changing its histogram map one by one. And then we have is the contrast. If you increase or decrease the contrast, that is also going to change the histogram one by one. You can drastically change it, or you can drastically increase it. Okay, then we have is the highlight. Okay, you can change the highlight, you can change the shadows, but if you don't want any of those, you can stay with the basics, which is clarity and vibrance. So exposure is the brightness, okay, or like exposure. Then we have is the clarity. Clarity is a lot like making the details look more stronger. Okay, let's say I'm going to increase the clarity, and you can see that the details are now a lot stronger. Okay, but if you decrease it, you will see that the details will turn a lot smoother. See, so this is how actually clarity works. So I prefer keeping it a bit above the default level, but according to the photos. Then we have the vibrance. You can increase or decrease the vibrance, but you can see when I decrease the vibrance, the color is getting faded. Okay, so that is what actually vibrance is. If you increase it, the color will pop up a lot more, which you can see over here. Now as I increased it, you can see the color has popped very much, right? But if you want to like do a lot more, like making changes to the shadows, whites and blacks, you can also do that from here, and also from the develop tab, which is over here. And I prefer using the develop more because you will be able to add in the numbers too. If you want to change it, you can also get those. You can also use these to get various results or preview them. You can change the highlights, shadows, whichever one you want, whites, blacks, texture, clarity, and a lot more. Okay, which you can see over here. We also have dehaze, vibrance, and saturation, well, you can use and get a preview of them and see how it actually works. Okay, and at the end, just as I told you, where is the tone curve, where this is the tone curve where you will also be able to do it. Okay, well, this is a bit complex, so I'm gonna skip it. So I prefer just staying on these tools, but if you want more of these, you can try using this and getting your result. Okay, so hope you guys got everything on how you'll be able to use white balance and tone control in Adobe Lightroom. So hope you guys understood everything, and thank you for staying with us and watching this video.